This is lesson 9, and this was a lesson you did and researched about Alexander Graham Bell and then his decibel scale that he came up with. So his decibel scale is a scale which explains or describes the intensity of sound levels and their effect on your hearing. So these are I'm just going to write in the examples of the sounds which have these intensities. So this first intensity, category A it's called, and it's between 0 and 65 decibels. So 0 decibels is described to be the threshold of hearing, and that's the quietest sound that you can hear. Threshold of hearing, that anyone can hear. This is the quietest sound, and it's said to have an intensity level of 0. 10 decibels would be something like a watch ticking. 17 would be someone whispering, an audible whisper. 20 decibels would be the wind blowing in the trees, not very loud. 40 decibels would be waves on a beach. So you can see the sound intensity level is increasing. And normal talking would be normally in the region between 50 and 65. It of course depends on how much noise there is in the room. Right, above that we call these category B sounds, and they range from 70 up to 100 decibels. So 70 would be someone then shouting. A vacuum cleaner would be operating at maybe 80. And if you remember, in the last set of slides, we said that workplace employers have to supply ear muffs to employees when the sound level is greater than 85. So 90 decibels would be heavy traffic. So if you were living in the city and you were hearing a lot of traffic outside your window, that would be a 90 decibel sound. And a 100 decibel sound would be loud music. And it would definitely at that stage be starting to get quite annoying. 110 decibel, very loud noise, thunder, something like thunder. 125 might be an electric drill. So if you were working on the roads and you were using an electric drill or a pneumatic drill, you would maybe be exposed to 125 decibels, and 140 decibels if you were very close to an aircraft, say that was taking off. That would be a very loud noise. And you'll see anybody who works down in the ground of the airport, you'll see they all wear earmuffs. So there's 3 categories. The third category, the very loud category, is category C. The question asks you then on the next page, how might category A sounds affect your ears? So we'll have a look at them, and that ranges from the quietest sound you can hear up to waves on a beach. So really there's no real effect. They're fairly harmless. Now, category B sounds are things like shouting, vacuum cleaner, heavy traffic, loud music and thunder, and that would hurt your ears. It may cause damage if you're exposed to them for long periods of time, but it would certainly make your ears feel sore. So hurt your ears, cause damage if you're exposed to them many times. Category C then is thunder, electric drill and an aircraft. So that would hurt your ears if you hear it many times. But category C will hurt your ears even if you only hear it once. It can hurt your ears as well. Right, preventing noise pollution then. So there are different ways to prevent noise pollution if I just scan out a wee bit. First of all, homeowners can double glaze their windows. If they live close to a busy road, they could grow lots of trees in their garden, and that absorbs some of the sound from the road. They might put up a wall, and that would reflect the sound back out onto the road again. They might cover their surfaces inside the house with a lot more absorbent materials, or they might put extra insulation in between the walls of their house if they're only building their house and they know there's going to be a lot of noise. Employers then, they're only allowed to operate their machines between certain times And then they would also have to fit soundproof. So would have to fit soundproofing in their factory or to the machines possibly. It just depends. They might only let their employees work for a certain length of time on a certain machine which is very noisy. And they have to supply things like earmuffs and so on, not expose their employees to unnecessary health risks. Airports, you can see a picture of an airport there. Airports have to adjust their flight paths so that the flights aren't always passing over the same houses all the time and exposing them unnecessarily to noise all the time. So they're supposed to adjust their flight paths or taking off a landing flight paths. Cars then have to fit mufflers in their engine to reduce unwanted noise, and there would also be a lot of soundproofing inside the doors and so on. So soundproofing in body parts, car body parts. Motorways then, you can see this is a photograph of the West Link, and you can see on the West Link there's quite a number of very high walls, and those high walls are because beyond the high walls there's a lot of buildings and businesses, and that makes sure that a lot of the traffic noise is actually reflected. So the traffic noise comes out, it's reflected back onto the road again, instead of to the people who live in the buildings beyond. So they have to build high walls. And in some places out in the countryside, they plant a lot of shrubbery. And then places beyond the motorway aren't hearing an awful lot of noise because it's been absorbed by the shrubs and the trees.